to in the past. So TA can kill the Tiny and the supports, but is that really going to be enough when there's so many of this like front line that's kind of protecting? There's also a global, which can shut down DM on the Brewmaster. Even I think clicking the global after the split goes off, and they can't like dispel the illusions or lift the Deuce up with the Storm Panda at the start. There's a lot of good gameplay from Team Spirit that can happen.
I mean, my only question mark is gonna go back to this bounty hunter. Like, what's his place in this game? You have like an offlane terribly, we'd say he farms a lot. You have a Deuce who's also gonna farm a lot. He's just playing with the Tiny. Is that gonna be good enough?
And once again, it's a mid laner that he can't bully. You're not going to be able to rotate onto a Sand King and expect anything to happen.
I think this mid matchup is better for him to rotate to. I think the Sand King is going to be lower versus Tiny, basically how the lane works. Tiny's going to be able to avalanche spam, get him low, CS creeps the tree, and there's actually roaming potential in this more compared to the last game.
See, the odds are starting to equalize on the stream right now. It's getting closer and closer between these two teams after Parivision claims that a game 1 victory. But I'm with you, Fly. I think the pivot to make the Medusa a carry this time, we had also talked about the fact that Ancient Apparition, nearly useless against the Medusa. So perhaps it was a good idea for Spirit to change some things up, but Parivision are staying the course, and they are going to stay it into game number 2 of this best of 5.
Prepare for battle!
Collapse said that they came here to take home a trophy. One of the deadliest teams and a best of 5 is down in this series, and they're gonna have to come back in order to prove they still have what it takes to take home that trophy right there. Avery, we see a switch up in the draft, or at least a switch up in the positions of where these heroes are going to be operating. We thought that maybe it was just going to be kind of a run it back scenario, but they actually switched over and they're going to do a carry Medusa this time around.
Looks way better to me. I agree. They should have done this last time. The game is just way better for the Deuce than the Terrorblade because there's a lot of illusion clear between the Spotlight that we didn't mention last game, but that thing was shredding some of the TV illusions in the fight. Yeah. Now you have Brewmaster on top of it. This is a pretty clean Medusa carry. I think if you get 5 or 6 items on Radon here, you're pretty happy to carry this in the late game. It's going to be pretty hard for Parivision to match you there, but they opted for the last pick Brewmaster. They did not go for that Morphlane rerun. They went for a faster lineup. They are going to try and take early Roshans. They're going to try and take over the map with the TA traps, some fast Sand King gameplay. This could easily be a 20-minute win for Parivision. We've seen them do this before with these Sand King mid lineups when they have a lot of tempo and pace to play with. That's the big concern here if you're a Team Spirit fan. Can you weather the early game storm? Can you get into that late game where, yeah, I don't have a doubt Spirit will win this in the Ultra Late. I have no doubts about that. But can they get there? And we have seen Parivision play incredibly fast in some of these games. So this is the tempo switch up that we talked about. Being hit here, full force. See how Team Spirit react. They can weather the storm, they can weather the lanes, and how much this Bounty Hunter Tiny combination can get done versus the Sand King enabling a very strong backline support to him.
Maposhka is going to stumble into a 3-man gank. He's instantly going to try and TP away. No stuns here, so he will survive, but he's going to be limping along back into the lane. Close call, but First Blood is still out there. Feels like when it comes to draft difference here, it feels almost like a philosophical difference approach to this draft where, I mean, frankly, I feel like Team Spirit's draft kind of just looks
Radiant's courier has been slain.
right?
Oh, that's your opinion, man.
I mean, come on. You've got an off-lane Terrorblade. You've got a Bounty Hunter Silencer. You don't have a whole lot of stuns running around. Maposhka is actually still maybe going to give up First Blood. This time to just 9 class. He TP'd away, and yet still maybe falls that final hit is going to be enough 9 class. First Blood acquired.
He was so patient. He was hiding in this small camp, waiting for Maposhka to come down. There was no salve on that Silencer to salve back up. And I was about to say, that sequence for Maposhka wasn't too bad because he got the D-ward off of it. And you did get the TP out of Ducalis going in bottom. So, A, he's missing some mana. Doesn't have a TP if Ducalis were to die, but instead, you bleed out the Silencer. He's going to have to walk back. In fact, he's thinking about just waiting for the TP 15 seconds. And Radon, he is feeling the pain of that mistake right now.
Yeah, he's not happy whatsoever.
Free lane for DM at the start. They're going to get the equilibrium. Small camp is blocked. No way to reset this right now. Tough start. Spirit on this safe lane. So Medusa, I think, can weather this lane a bit better than we saw Terrorblade in the last one.
That is true. And now with Maposhka back into the lane, Radon should be fine because he's got triple mangoes on Maposhka. So he's ready to force speed Radon if needed.
Love to get the Lotus here for the Medusa as well if you can shove this lane in.
I guess the question for me is like the rotating the Medusa into the carry position. Yeah, it screws over the Brewmaster. It screws over maybe some of what Parivision were planning to do in this game. But is it worth being able to counter the counter that's coming out from Parivision if it puts together a lineup that can't necessarily Parivision in team fight?
There's a big concern. Like, what is the AoE coming out from this Team Spirit lineup to match Brewmaster stanking a Ringmaster with TA traps for vision?
It's a tiny.
Again, it's
like,
so
what
much.
man?
It's so much on Laurel. I will say, I think I have more confidence in the Tiny being able to carry games like this than the Earthshaker. Earthshaker's pretty dependent on the Echo Slam cooldown to make plays and open up something in the team fight, whereas Tiny can just do it non-stop. He does not rely too much on his ultimate. So your playmaking options are a bit faster here. Your entryway into the fight's a bit more solid. If Laurel has a good game, I believe he can do a lot of work here, and he's off to a very good start mid. Free lane for him. So he's just gonna farm it up, keep the ward if he can get it, and abuse these water runes to the maximum.
Laurel was going to be crucial to the success of Team Spirit in Game 1. It didn't work out for the Earthshaker. We'll see how it fares. How's this bottom lane doing? Rue and Collapse. Immediately, they're going to go on to Satanic as we put our gaze onto what's going on in this bottom lane.
Yeah, Headdress offlane terribly. Like I'm playing with Eternal Envy again. He was right.
I forgot he did that. Oh, that's a throwback.
It's really giving me some PTSD right now, especially since we are in North America. But it's good now.
Is it?
I think. Who knows? It's working out here. It's actually a very efficient item on the hero. And it's still some work versus AA in this lane. Early Headdress versus AA is pretty efficient because this hero's just all about chip damage on
Back over to top lane. Maposhka gonna get low here. Mystic Snake not quite enough to finish off 9 class. Radon has to chase after him, and he doesn't have the movement speed to do so.
Mantonic saving lives again, and that was because he had the kill earlier on Maposhka.
Yep.
When he went down that ramp, so that early kill really set Spear back in this safe lane. You're still free farming the Medusa, but Maposhka's game is out the window, man. You're gonna have to do some recovery.
I'm gonna put
tough hero to do it.
Free farming in quotations there because there is still 7 denies on this Brewmaster. Tim's done a very good job of controlling the CS even in the one-on-one.
I mean, the upside is Maposhka's been off the lane so much, it's a lot of solo XP for Radon.
That is true, yeah.
So, yeah, that's the optimist way of looking at it. We do see no one tip Maposhka out as he TP'd mid and got nothing done with it. Can't refill that bottle anymore. You're very far up for Yatoro. There's nothing you can do here. And neither pull is available right now. Same thing in this lane though. Lane is super far up for Satanic. You have to be worried about getting run down this lane with the Bounty Hunter, Blood Grenade chasing you if you ever get chipped down a bit.
I'll take your tribute.
It's really hard for him to offensively set up just because these heroes have so much armor. There's going to be those mangoes being fed over to Radon. Do they have enough of them though?
It was costly. That was a lot of mango feed. You still have a Lotus to give over. Man, the equilibrium in this lane is just hurting Spirit so much. They need this lane back. They need pulls for the Silencer XP, and they are not getting it. Very good control here out from the Parivision off-lane duo. Going straight back in.
All right, well, that load is going to have to be put to use, and it's not good enough. Now Maposhka, who's still holding on to that Lotus, maybe run down his, Nightclass is going to hop over the trees, get in front of Maposhka. They'll get 2 kills out of this. 4-0 start for Parivision when they're already up 1 game in this best of 5.
And he used the Lotus plus the Blood Grenade there. Nothing going Spirit's way in that top lane.
Well, Laurel baits down to the Power Rune. No one controls it, I guess, by using an Epicenter, but sadly it wasn't bottom lane. Instead, it's going to be top. Are they going to go for Rue, or are they going to go for the Power Rune? Chases after the Invis, but Rue managed to walk it off and will control the Rune long enough. They're going to try and get it over to Tiny, but Radon left alone in the top lane. 9 class and DM just relentless in there.
The body block.
Top lane. The body blocking is beautiful. Radon hit by another dagger. Not quite enough damage. Now the Avalanche. It's going to turn this fight around. Radon's going to be tossed over on top of DM. They underestimated just exactly how much regen Radon had left.
No snake bounce for the follow-up. That is the Dusa problem. Sometimes you abuse this hero and sometimes she abuses you back. This is not a super high damage lane. They've just been abusing the fact that the lane is so far up they can run this Dusa down, run her on the clock. Illusion blocking is super nice on top of that.
I am so surprised Laurel did not walk in with that Invis rune to try and get the Wisdom Shrine.
That would be pretty greedy. Overall, though, this early game got salvaged by Spirit a bit. This top lane is not going well, but if you actually look at the net worth, they're pretty happy with the outcome. All three of their cores are neck and neck. You have a pretty slow start for this TA, who's actually bottom of the barrel here. Well, it's okay here for Spirit. I think Parivision, they just want to get this blink up on the Sand King as fast as possible. And if you can fight with this Brewmaster ulti, this is a really strong power point in this early game. Not a spell Team Spirit want to skirmish into at all. They have nothing to stop it and very little to combat it early until the Medusa is dealing a lot of right-click damage.
Yeah, the Medusa being ahead of the Templar Assassin, but I would also say that, would you agree that Templar Assassin as a carry is more affected by have a bad laning phase than Medusa is? As rotation cuts 9 class off before he can get too deep into the jungle.
It's so needed from Apochka here. Needs any kind of extra gold, any XP. He'll take the +1 int as well.
Yeah, he's still level 3. That is rough.
This is how silencer games go sometimes. The laning phase can be really rough for this hero, and if it is, you just become food on the map. Let's see what Parivision try and do with this Brewmaster ulti. Still available here. Shove this wave in, pressure the tower. They're going to rotate both supports straight back up here. So Apochka gonna die again. That is the question.
But the Dire's top tower is under attack.
That's just right back to where he started. Some vision on Radon. They're gonna try and get the kill on him. He is a little bit low on mana. Oh, missed the dagger. That's really awkward. Gets off the snake. DM's gonna try and cut him off here. He doesn't have the stone gauge, so he leveled up his other abilities first, so has no way out of this one. No one eventually cuts him down. That is going to be yet another kill for Parivision off this laning phase.
I mean, that is some of the benefit of 9 classes playstyle. You think this guy's just sitting here annoying you, stealing your centaur creep. In reality, it ends up being a 4-man gank. You just die.
Yeah.
You lose your Madstone off the camp as well.
Return can Team Spirit do anything to shut down Satanic, who already has built himself a nice little defensive pool of these traps around his safe lane tower. He's ready if Spirit try and get aggressive and dive in.
Again, your only playmaker is the Tiny, so if you want to bring the Tiny down here on a smoke, yeah, you can kill him. It's a huge investment. You're potentially giving up a power rune, you're giving a lot of farm to no one. And that gank is not guaranteed.
You need to start finding kills, not necessarily for no one, but for Rue. He needs that experience so you can start getting those track kills.
Parivision might get this. They're going to get this top tier one without using Primal Split. That's huge. Because now you can make another play with it. A lot of extra gold in the DM with this free tower last hit, pushing him towards that fast radiance. And the supports are pretty far ahead. The XP on Spirit supports is going to really hurt them as we go into this mid game. Whereas the AA Ringmaster, they're already almost to level 6. Haste Rune for no one off the top 50-50, and the stacks are being built. Everything's starting to come together here for Parivision that they want in this early game.
What's left is Ducalis getting his level 6.
Oh, Courier Sling?
Doesn't wait. He wants to play in this triangle because he knows the stacks are going to be done soon.
And wants the XP.
Yeah, if he can't take away the gold, then at least take away whatever experience he
Lock it up too.
Yeah, he wants to see if
9 class knows.
They know about the situation. 9 class is such a good read of what 4 positions are going to be doing in these situations. He finds the bounty hunter, and they will claim most of this experience completely free of spirit influence.
Ross already has the Ice Blast online. That'll give you the Wheel of Wonder. These supports are so far ahead on the side of Parivision. Any fight is favorable for you right now. You're in dodge mode. Just praying that Laurel can get a fast blink dagger at the bleeding here.
I don't love the fact that you say that Spirit's in dodge mode, because I feel like they were kind of in dodge mode for a good amount of game 1 as well.
Well, that's right. Go to this Terrorblade Medusa lineup. You're just opening the door for Parivision to set the pace, set the tempo, go for a faster lineup, and have all the playmaking in the world. And just saying, hey, we're gonna limit the damage, we're gonna split push the map, we're gonna go for a later timing. It's a very dangerous proposition against this team. You've seen them clean house against some of the best in the world. When you get too greedy, there I remind you of the Midas game from yesterday.
Yeah. I don't need any reminders about that.
No, don't need some more mental damage from him.
Epicenter Blink Dagger is ready to go for no one. He wants to put it to use in the mid lane. A Burrow Strike that lands alongside an Epicenter. Throw an Ice Blast on top of that. And Heroes will die to that combination for sure. Instead, it's going to be Maposhka who dies as the amp damage is protected and picked up for no one.
Just not a place you want to be with this silencer. Nothing good is going to happen to you around this mid lane.
He doesn't have the best damage, but he is keeping up with Rue, and now they have the dust, they're going to get this kill, adding even more to DM, who doesn't get the last hit, but he does get an assist. This speeds him along to an extremely fast Radiance. This is going to be 2 games in a row where DM is put into a position to take over the map.
He is just having completely free games here. And this should be concerning. This is going to be a very strong Radiance Brewmaster in the team fight. Maybe you have a chance to burst him down with a tiny combo into global, but you're looking at the burst damage, same issue as last game. Outside of Laurel, there's not a lot to back up that initiation. On Parivision, I have a lot of confidence playing aggressive right now. I'm just going to follow no one and do whatever he wants. And if he wants to keep slaying supports over and over, I mean, why not?
As Maposhka shows, Maposhka just wants to get his level 6. He wants that global silence. Laurel, he's not going to be able to get the return kill on Ducalis, backing away from his tower, which might die now. No, just keep trying that Epicenter. He's just going to keep laying it down. Say, you can't get close.
The trade-off is you're farming your 2 side lane carries. It feels like Parivision are getting more of their lineup online. The supports are way more enabled in this game. Get this mid tower for free. Despite getting the blink up on Laurel at an okay time, you're unable to make a play with it. I gotta think about these 14-minute wisdom shrines as well.
Who does Laurel play with? He still doesn't have level 6s on his supports, and they're not kind of supports that really help you in the damage department.
Global silence is not that great for Tiny, to be fair. Part of the value of the hero is he can go in, combo somebody, and just be surviving on his own. Then a Storm Spirit that can get disabled. It's not an Ember, you have to bail out. I'd rather have more damage follow-up or stun like a Chikiro or something. You get one of the Wisdom Shrines and both, yeah. I mean, that's a nice steal.
That is
a very salvaging steal, in fact, because now you're going to have ults on the supports. You can start to play the track game.
That being said, the only reason they're able to do that is just because Parivision are so aggressively pushing on your side of the map. They don't want to go halfway across the map to pick up their own Wisdom Shrine. They want to sit in front of your tier 2s. Spirit has lost so much real estate in this map, but it doesn't seem like they have the power to claw it back. We'll see, though. Laurel and Maposhka are going to try and make a move here. Unfortunately, again, he's already made a read of the situation. No one whiffs on his Arcane Rune Epicenter as Yatoro baited, or excuse me, Collapse baited out by pushing into the triangle and then immediately backed away.
There's a smoke coming through from the Tiny. Those Wisdom Shrines unlock the ult here for Spirit. Now they kind of want to get aggressive. Wards got planted by Parivision, though. These are deep obs. Triangle behind that old tier 1 bottom, so they see a lot of space right now. They're going to see where these cores are farming. It's going to help them dodge these plays, and Tormentor instantly cleared through with this TA lineup. No contest. Late to the party if you're Spirit.
This is a smoke that went all around the world, and Spirit have yet to run into a hero with it.
You are flying in the pipe for Collapse. Just holding it on this courier. He will complete it now.
Pipe versus a Radiant. But one hero is going to offer significantly more in the team fight than the other. Primal split of DM yet to be used.
Might be one of those games the first split ends up being a level 2 split. Just keep farming, keep scaling up to it. And, I mean, level 2 split is where this hero becomes really scary if you don't have ways to clear through the Brilliance easily. It's just not the case until Medusa has insane damage. Even then, you can toss the Deuce and play the fight versus everybody else.
Yeah. Track there, don't care. DM goes to the other side of the map anyway. Confident that Team Spirit won't be able to make a move. No one is conscientious of the fact that the mid lane would be where Spirit would strike. Find the tower, and Burrow strikes at the first sign of danger. Collapse still trying to make use of his pipe. There goes that spotlight, clearing out the illusions.
Heavy committal for Spirit. They're bringing a lot of heroes to this mid lane. This is your pipe timing. Shield Rune on Laurel. In theory, you should be confident here. You even want to potentially toss someone back if you can get vision behind the tier 1 with this bounty hunter. Play it safe, take the tier 1. This tier 1 bottom is still up, by the way, full HP.
Spirit was so certain that Parivision was going to contest that tower, but I feel like Parivision made a correct read of the situation, which is like they have so heavily committed into this one position on the map. We're just going to get so much more everywhere else.
Is it? Can you split up this much versus a bounty hunter? Will Rue eventually find that pickoff as he's scouting Satanic down here? No detection.
Yeah, Satanic leaving the safe haven that he had underneath the tower, and all those traps are going to go for it. TPs are coming in, but it's not going to be in time. Satanic's in trouble. Maybe it is. Burrow Strike comes out. The pipe trying to stop the damage.
They need
the
more
Templar
damage.
Assassin is limping along. 60 HP, 30 HP, 10. A refraction goes off the last second, and he walks away. Spirit baited into trying to kill the kid, but you can't stop Satanic.
He knows his limits so well, and Parivision so fast on the response. No one is there in an instant. Fails his carry out with a nice Burrow Strike. Nothing is for free in this game, especially for Team Spirit supports who continue to suffer. Just cannot find that one track kill to get back in this game. And now you're putting a lot of your hope on this Radon Medusa, right? This game is starting to just shift towards, can Yatoro eventually carry it?
Yeah, this rate, because you're going to start getting items on the supports. They're going to get tanky. They're going to get their utility items. So the Tiny's going to have a hard time bursting down heroes.
There's your pick off.
If it's a support left in the river against two heroes, that one's a bit easier, and that is killing spree.
That's a killing spree plus a track kill. Things can swing really fast if you start to build some momentum with this bounty hunter.
That is true. Parivision, maybe this is about that time that they do need to start grouping up a bit more. Utilize some of that team fight presence that they got. Collapse TP away from DM. They cannot take a fight against a Brewmaster.
This is a time you would want to start threatening that Roche, because you have the level 2 primal split. You haven't used it. You have the Deso or the Satanic TA. He already has Blink Dagger done as well, eyeing up that shard.
Right next to Laurel. Laurel, beautiful trap set up by him, but his combination is not nearly enough. Thanks to a raindrop and an essence ring, Ducalis is actually very tanky.
Instant TP bottom. No DMs down here. They're just trying to preemptively set up for anybody who defends his bottom tier 1, which is still standing with full HP, by the way. Really limiting the map movement here from Spirit. Parivision did a solid job defending that with the TA. And the upside of defending that tier 1 bottom is the second Spirit commit for it. That Roshan is completely open. So they're going to see some heroes down here off that ward in the lane and just commit for the Roshan.
Yeah, so awkward. That once again, Spirit, a smoke move with the Tiny, moves to the wrong side of the map. Parivision focused on taking objectives. First, the last time it was the Tormentor when Team Spirit, the initial smoke went up top. And now Laurel might be late to the party for this Roche.
He's smoking across the entire map right now. He will be here in time. Did you jump into this? This is
This team going to be able to back this up? I mean,
going to
away the silencer right now. DM is going to go after him with his Drunken Master Facet to try and catch up.
There's no way you fight this. That is an Axe and Storm Sankey. You have to jump into. That's a level 2 Brewmaster with his Radiance. I mean, Tiny combo strong, but not that strong.
Yeah, it's just impossible. So all Spirits can get out of it is more time for Collapse and more time for Yatoro. They are all in on double carries. Persevering through the Parivision mid game. He managed to push it late. No one. Burrow Strike away. A little too late on the global silence, though.
Miscommunication. I'm not sure he dies there anyway.
That is true. He
Now
is
you don't have it.
really tanky. Maybe it's better they didn't put that together better, because they might have just chased too much after no one and walked right into DM's Brewmaster.
And you're trying to get this butterfly on the Medusa. That could be a turning point in this game. I think Parivision could opt to play around. I mean, Satanic is already just going to MKB though. You could have the MKB on the TA by the time that butterfly comes out or is impactful in a fight. Just preemptively countering it here.
Throwing him down with the dust and catching Rue. I mean, Team Spirit are just kind of running all over the map trying to dodge away from Parivision, so no one has no problem using the Epicenter for a support kill.
Also denying that Wisdom Shrine steal. You cannot lose too many of those to the bounty hunter.
Yeah, that is true.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well, Spirit is getting a lot in the meanwhile. I mean, middle and bottom lane are both pushed into the tier 2, so Parivision are going to have to back up, deal with this, as Satanic likely to finish up that tier 2. There it goes.
Players are always going to find farm on this map. You cannot prevent that.
When is it going to be enough farm, though? Frankly, Collapse isn't going to do that much damage with the Pipe first build. In the Butterfly, it's really good defensively, and it adds some damage. But when you're up 5k on Parivision, I feel like the Deuce is just not really going to be that much of a threat.
You have to fight with your timings here. You have to use your Toro's strengths exactly when they hit and try and maximize it. Butterfly arrives. This is where you can take a fight and feel confident just heading on in with the Medusa, dealing a serious amount of damage. It's just that Parivision, they don't have to take that bait.
No, they don't.
Like, they're not under a huge amount of pressure here with the start they've had. They can continue scaling up these cores. Not as if they fall off for a very long time. You have some trap vision to play around to equalize this bounty hunter. Outside of just making a very clutch smoke on the map behind this timing, I don't see Spirit starting fights on their turn. Rue is potentially another source. If you just scout some heroes on the map, he off.
Yeah, the calls will eventually die. He's trying to do that ghost shoving that we're talking about, where you don't show on the map and you just push out the waves with your abilities. But Rue is able to scout him out. Calls does manage to get his Ice Blast out, so Rue gonna have to play for his Tranquil Boots for a little bit.
Essence Rings, saving lives out here. Track kill buys you some time. Not the prettiest way to play this game, but it is Team Spirit getting through this mid game. You've still yet to see Primal split. That is kind of absurd.
Yeah, like Parivision, I would have expected them to get a little bit more aggressive than they have been. Why do you feel like they are playing this a bit more passive?
They have to react to the lane shove, honestly. They're getting dragged into this game where it's Dusa illusions, Terrorblade illusions, Bounty Hunter scouting. They're just getting pulled across the map. They can't group as effectively. I think in theory they could have just grouped and walked down one of these lanes to try and push the high ground, but are you happy with the exchange on the map while that's happening? Probably not. Your goal is to just get to the second Aegis where you can do that a lot more confidently and with a lot more authority.
Okay, so there's going to be an even stronger timing still to come. Parivision
100%.
are playing for that.
You're looking at that 30-35 minute high ground. That second Aegis on the TA, you can start that siege, going with the Brewmaster level 3 ulti. At this point, maybe you just should have skilled stats. Not a Midas, I don't know.
Yeah,
slow game.
We're considering those Midases. A shield. Oh, what? What was that? Lau just jumped over DM to try and pick up the power rune. He gets it into the bottle. He forced that up to the high ground. Meanwhile, Avalanche stops. No one from the offensive center. They got the Ice Blast on him. He's stuck. Oh, force tap goes off and a Thunder save. Spirit expertly defending their mid laner here. Radon is going to stand up to Satanic. I'm not sure if you really want to do that, though. He still has the Aegis. Parivision are really trying to force the action right now.
Chasing super deep here.
Yeah, look how far no one's going away from his team, or DM rather.
Did use the Brew ulti. Do you have no Brew, no AA ult? He just running out in 15 seconds.
Class actually stuck around a little bit too long. The rest of the score's backing up. No one. He pops the epicenter, goes for collapse. A force staff got him at a distance. A global sound's going off, stopping the extra bit of damage required. Collapse will live, and Radon starts putting in the damage. No one. He's going to be slowed down. Man, he goes off. Radon actually did a lot of damage. This Templar assassin is going to work. Force staff's going up. One more hit is all it takes. A side blade and a little bit of Radiance Bird will finally bring him to his knees. Collapse. He's going to be up next. Run down by DM. Primal split or no, this Brewmaster is still a menace in these team fights. A desperate TPO. No, that's not going to work for you. Clap down. Double kill for DM. Chasing after more and more. DM next up. It's Laurel. Got the Radiance burn on him, but as they get deeper and deeper into their side of the map, he'll say, that's good enough for us, boys. Still, though, Satanic falling in that fight.
Both carries overextending a little bit, not respecting the damage that can be pumped into them, especially when that refraction is down or once all that mana is gone. And ultimately, it's the Brewmaster who ends up dealing the most damage of anybody in that exchange. Didn't even have the ult, just ran around, throws the haze, starts right-clicking people. No one wants to commit on him because in theory he's not that big of a threat, and he's just a damage soak. Really hard to punch through this haze as well. You don't have Evasion Pierce on the side of Spirit right now. There were some misses on that Butterfly, but not enough to save Radon. You see the power of the Force Staffs, though. Very good Force Staff usage from Spirit to kite out some of these ults, and that is something Parivision need to think about, right?
Oh, they have the same idea on the Sentry Ward combination, but wards were already down for Parivision, giving them the advantage and giving them the kill on Rue, who will find his way blocked by a Wheel of Wonder.
Bigger find his DM if you can.
Oh, the Gorgon's Grass just nipping at his heels, but DM does manage to cruise along just ahead of it.
He's just so hard to lock down.
Yeah.
You have one stun in the Spirit lineup, it's Avalanche. You have a toss, Yule's follow-up, but that's it. This Brewmaster is going to be a menace this game because he can just play and hold that ult forever.
in his regular form, he can go and be a Storm Brawler and have hyper evasion between the Radiant and the Storm Brawler evasion.
Even the status resistance from the Void stance. Pretty nice versus the Tiny if you just run in. Magic resistance, whatever you want to do. It's all good here.
Radiant's middle tower is under
You
attack.
have Radon top of the net worth chart, though. That is something for Spirit. It's a very good Medusa game. You cannot underrate how strong Yatoro is going to be on the front line of those fights.
How many items does he need to become the strongest hero in the game, though? You're saying it's a good Medusa game, but Medusa is also kind of a slower hero, usually plays for later timing.
I think around the 4th item, you're going to feel pretty good. Okay. That 4th to 5th territory is when you're starting to think, I'm just going to 1v5 this game.
So once he gets that next damage item, and he's going to get Silver Edge, and then he's likely to get either MKB or Disperser.
One of those two, your damage picks up. That's when the fight becomes pretty scary for Parivision. That's when you have to start thinking about tossing this Medusa or just killing everybody else.
Which means Spirit are just playing for survival right now. Rue spotted by the daggers. They keep on getting thrown out, and he's not making it through that gate, that's for certain. So pickoff happens there right as we're in potential Roshan spawning time. So Spirit are not too far away from their timing on the Medusa, but this is where Parivision are bound to get their strongest, right in the middle of the mid game, and on that second Roshan.
Put an Aegis on Satanic, you can do a lot of damage on this map right now. It's hitting hard, early MKB into BKB. With a serrated Shiv, this Templar Assassin will absolutely shred you. The only reason his damage didn't look that impressive is because he was throwing into Butterfly Medusa without MKB earlier.
Right.
It's gonna ramp up incredibly fast right now. And this Roshan, this feels like a Roshan you kind of have to contest if you're Spirit, but I don't think you feel good about contesting this. You just kind of gotta run in there and hope it works out for you. See what Laurel can find. He has Arcane Rune, incredibly good rune for Tiny in this fight.
He goes inside the pit, nobody's there. Parivision reading the situation, backing away, and now DM's gonna start leading the charge. The Ice Blast, the Wheel of Wonder, and the Epicenter, all in on Radon. They're gonna try and finish up this Medusa before the stone
Out of mana.
He managed to get that, but still, with the AoE damage, they burn him down rather easily. Spirit get overwhelmed by the mid-game of Parivision and fall right into their trap, fighting Parivision head-on in a 5 versus 5, and they will lose 4 heroes for it.
This Brewmaster is just an absolute frontline menace. They don't have anything to throw at DM when he just runs face first into them. 6-0 in 8 games, dealing so much damage, being so annoying. Once more, the highest damage in that fight is the Brewmaster. Just getting in there, getting the job done. If a 4-staff came out on Radon, as these ults are coming out, that could be a completely different fight. But Laurel used the one on himself, and Rue could not get in there in time. He gets frozen.
Oh, yeah.
And by now, all the mana's gone. The fight's just over at this point. You can't Sunder Medusa. It's irrelevant. It's not a carry you can bail out with the Sunder.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. It's an awkward bit of synergy there between the off lane and safe laner of Team Spirit. And as a result, they didn't even finish up that Roshan. I love the fact that Parivision goes straight for taking a lane of barracks, and then they'll back up and take that Roshan. Because if Spirit want to contest them a second time, I feel like Parivision's saying, hey, have at it, man. We'll take that fight again.
100%. Like, this is where your lineup's peaking right now. You will take any 5-on-5, especially if it's a 5-on-5 where Spirit feel pressure to go into Parivision's lineup. Again, you're going into the Ag Sandstorm, you're going into the Brewmaster. It's so miserable.
That Brewmaster has an Assault Cuirass. Nice pickoff, though. Toss back on a 9 class. Finds an opening.
It's a Roche opening.
Yeah, Spirit.
Doesn't have Vi.
I mean, I feel like you have to force the Roche.
You absolutely force it here. Again, you don't want to be in a position where you have to fight into Parivision. You'd rather make them go into your Medusa, holding a position. Are they confident enough to do it, though?
I feel like Parivision are
that.
certainly going to try and contest this one. Toss back is going to miss because of the Manta. DM. Now that he's got the Void Brawler, he's going to chase after these heroes. He's running away, immediately using the Primal Split. All of Spirit have to back away now.
That is big if you can reset here.
Yeah.
Getting that ult out of it. That's a lot, and he's completely alone. There's no follow-up here for Parivision.
Yeah, I mean, no one is within striking distance if he really wants to, if there's some sort of opening that presents itself, but... Talking about the Epicenter on the other side. This Rue's gonna see this. He's gonna try and put a stop to it. No! The damage doesn't come in time, and no one strikes the blow. Mapochko goes down. Media buyback gonna be used. Laurel trying to get the toss up in the air onto no one. Activating the BKB. Walking away. Big old tanky DM starts pushing forward. He is going to be the first target that Spirit run into through their buyback, and they can't bring him down.
It's like you have to make something happen here if you're Spirit. You got so many ults out of Parivision. You have 60 seconds here to use it. And you find an opening with this Tiny, with this Bounty Hunter. You have the Silver Edge on Radon as well. He can run in and give you some vision to potentially look for something. Not be too afraid of getting jumped on.
I mean, frankly, it feels like Team Spirit are just running into the same brick wall. Even if they don't have some of those ultimates, it still feels like Parivision are the better for it.
I mean, are you supposed to sit here and let Primal Split and Epicenter come back up? That's just going to feel worse in 50 seconds here.
Them's the breaks when you got an off-lane Terrorblade and a safe lane Medusa.
I mean, that is this Tricore. Your capabilities are limited, especially in how you start fights. And they're going to give up this window.
Top lane, it's beginning to play a little bit of havoc on those tier 4s. You can ignore it for some time, but eventually you have to go back. And once you do, you forfeit that Roshan.
Parivision's patience pays off again. They will get back to their ultimates and they will get the Roshan that they came here for.
Spirit, they're going to be on their last legs now. Because Roshan going into Parivision, Aegis, into the pockets of Satanic here. One final push is coming your way. I don't know if Spirit can actually get enough farm and hold their base.
This timing looks overwhelming. You just finished Shiva's on the Sand King. BKB is done for the TA and no one.
If anybody's going to be able to do this, it has to be Laurel getting good prospects, but if he gets caught before he can get back to the base, would have been disastrous. Fortunately, he does manage to
might find no one top.
Oh, that is really big.
Kickoff.
Double invis, they find the opening. Stun after stun, Gorgon's grasp. Another BKB has to be used by no one defensively here. Radaventus into the Wheel of Wonder, pushing him into it. That's going to be real dead. No one sees that, goes to the other support. They should be able to get both of them out of this with this epicenter. Radon makes a break for the corner of the map. He still has his TP, but he's not using it yet.
Just time, that's all you're buying right now. Sacrifice the supports. It's been the model the entire game. Find some farm on these cores and try and get Radon to that MKB where you have some damage in the fight. This is where this Parivision lineup is designed to end the game right now.
Yeah.
You have your second Roshan, you have the TA's damage, your team fight is overwhelming.
Don trying to draw some attention away, but Parivision, you're just going to group down, push in mid.
Spirit need to find a way for this Terrorblade to have impact in the team fight, because again, you're not sundering the Medusa.
Yeah.
You might be able to sunder the Tiny, you bait the hair enough.
I mean, maybe it's the build. Maybe you should have gone Armlet Dagon.
That is, I don't know about that one, but you know, we'll take some note of it.
Here comes the push. Parivision.
Oh, they want Radon.
Oh, they got him. They surely have got him. Radon, he's got a Manta, he's got a Snow Gaze, he's gonna try and Silver Edge walk away. Ice Blast coming in. It doesn't hit him, but the daggers are slowing him down. They keep a bit of vision, but he's so damn fast. The dagger. Another dagger, it hits him again. Did Nightclash just give the opening? Yes, he did. Parivision still hunt him down. Radon caught on the map. Can do nothing but put a pittance of damage back on a Parivision, but he is caught. He bought out his MKB, and he's dead for 80 seconds. Immediately, Laurel, he goes to cut the midway because he knows the end is nigh. He has to try and get backdoor protection up, but the top wave is already pushed in.
There's nothing you can do about this. The push is going to come in. That was a Medusa finishing MKB. Radon, he bought out that item. He is dead for 60. No buyback. This is very similar to that game one. One bad death on Yotoro. And Parivision are going to take your whole base. Might just take the game.
It looked like they're just going straight for the throne, ignoring the mid lane and hitting the tier 4s. Banner laid down right next to the Ancient. 40 seconds left. Glyph already used this early into it. They're trying to deal with the banner. Rue, he gets spotted as he tries to get any sort of information. Instead, just flat out dies. 2 dead on the side of Spirit. 3 trying to hold on desperately for 30 seconds. Half a minute just seems too long. Parivision, it's over. They are going to take this series in 2-0 so far. They are 1 game away from taking out Team Spirit at a grand final.
They have looked absolutely dominant. Spirit have found absolutely nothing in these first 2 games. This does not look like the same dominant grand final team we are used to seeing. This does not look like the invincible Team Spirit